Welcome to JHGWoodcraft. I'm Jedi Hammond. I'm going to do a little bit something different from what I've done in the past. We're going to do a little bit of a hardwood 101. If you're used to thinking that when you want to go build something and you want to use hardwood instead of, say, the pine that you just pick up over at the box shop or something like that, you just run down to the lumber yard and I'm going to grab some maple or some mahogany or something. And I'm just going to buy it in those same material lengths and sizes that you're used to at the box shop. That's not the case. So for those of you that have been doing woodworking for a while, you can skip this. You probably already know most of these things. But just to give those that are new or just kind of getting started, I want to give you a little bit of a 101 on how hardwoods work and how you get the materials, how you measure them, and then what you have to do when you get them. So here is a perfect example. This is some hard maple versus soft maple. You can tell it's not real pretty right now, right? So you can see the rough wood cuts, where the saw got into it on pretty much every angle, right? So this is pretty indicative of what you'd get if you go to a kind of your typical hardwood lumber store. Where you're just going to see, there's really nothing super smooth out. It's just cut really roughly into kind of the dimensions you want. So you might go to one of the box stores and you pick up say a 1x6, right? Which is close to what this is. So we've got 15/16. So this is really close to an actual inch versus a 1x that you buy in the lumber yard, and 7 and about 5/16. But here's the thing. Let's go check that up here. Oh, nope, that's 7 3/8. How about down here? No, it's 7 1/4. Right, 7 1/4. So you get the idea where the material is not uniform. It's very rough cut. So what you have to do as a woodworker, you're going to get the material. The other thing is you buy it by the board foot. So basically, they're measuring your width or your thickness by your width by your length, and you multiply that, and that's how you get a board foot. And so that's how, when you're going out and buying it or you're pricing it out, you're pricing it by board foot. So you have to kind of figure that when you're buying your pieces. So when you get it, next thing is you just slap it together, right? We got to throw some nails in here and we're done. Well, I mean, I guess if you want it to look really, really rough, you're going for that I found some wood in my backyard method. Sure, that might work. But in most cases, what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to run it through a planer and a joiner, which is this tool here. This is my small desktop joiner. And I'll open this up here. You can see there's some blades. Let me zoom out here. All right, and there's some blades here that will shave off that material, and you just kind of run it straight through. And that will clean up that edge and true it up. It'll also square it up with your fence here. If it's really out of whack, you could start out by chalking a line and freehanding it with a table saw or a bandsaw. And then once you do that, then run it through the joiner. You can run it through the joiner to get your edge. You can also run it through to get your face. And that gets you trued up. And then in order to get everything to the same dimension, you would use a planer or a thicknesser, depending on, different people call it different things. So this will allow me to cut all of my materials to the exact same thickness and clean it up, get it to almost a nice finish to the point, where I'm ready to sand. So when you're working with hardwood, again, not like you're going to your box store and just picking up a 2x6. Does take a bit more work, but at the end of the day, you're going to have a really pretty product. It also gives you that ability when you go to lumber yards to go and actually look through the material and look through for the grain designs and things like that you would like. I told you I wanted to show you what the final piece looked like after we had done our prep work that we needed to do. So we did run this through the bandsaw to first get everything into kind of a straight edge, and then ran it through the joiner to flatten it out and get us a nice clean corner edge, as well as running it through the planer, and that cut off a couple layers of the wood on the top. You can see it's really nice and pretty now, as well as a little straighter. Still some work to do, but wanted to give you guys a view of what it takes. And so if you're new to woodworking and you're thinking about hardwood, definitely recommend it, but there is a little more prep that goes into building something using hardwood, because you're starting out with a much more raw product than you would be if you just go buy a couple of 1x6s at the lumberyard. But it's going to end up really nice and end up with a really solid piece of material for your furniture or your other projects. This is going to go onto a gaming table that we'll be building out, and so I'm excited to show you that as that build progresses. With that, thanks. Have a great day. My turn to go get a drink.